Hi everyone, Alex Tardy, National Weather Service meteorologist. Atmospheric rivers are lining up with significant precipitation for most of California, and this could also be rain on snow. The first chance for SoCal is Friday, Saturday, where it looks like some widespread rain will occur in the first atmospheric river. What am I showing here? Literally, we're digging out. So the heavy snow from late February to March 1st, still digging out in the San Bernardino Mountains, as shown here. Hundreds of personnel, including CAL FIRE, National Guard, are helping out with this effort, and volunteers. Okay, across California, the snowpack is massive. Southern Sierra Nevada, highest. So this is snow water equivalent, the amount of water sitting in the snow, and its record pace. So this doesn't account for rainfall that might have disappeared before and after it snowed per se, but it accounts for the snowpack, the amount of water in the snowpack. Here's a look at that snowpack. Even San Gregorio Mountains at 42 inches of snow water. Across the state, the average is running just under 200%, so just under 2 times as much snow compared to normal. Remarkable so far. And if you look at the Sierra Nevada precipitation, so now this takes into account that rain you had, whether it was 8,000 feet or 1,000 feet, and it ran off, but you measured it. So this takes into account rain and snow, and you can see how impressive the snowpack was because the precipitation is above average, but not nearly as much, 118% of average. Now, if you look at the southern Sierra Nevada, you see some bigger numbers, 150% of average precipitation, rain and snow, and then 2 times the snowpack. That includes Yosemite area. Okay, the water supply has doubled most areas, so our big reservoirs have really jumped since the fall. Take a look at the reservoirs such as Oroville, 28% capacity, now sitting at 74% of capacity, and is now above average. Okay, the temperatures have been a story too. Over the past couple weeks, the purple shaded is a ranking of temperature. It's been cold. These storms have had a lot of snow, and they've been coming from polar regions, and the average temperatures have been cold. Top 5 coldest 2-week period for late February and early March in the purple shaded areas. If you look at a map, you can see that the blue shade is 8 to 12 degrees Fahrenheit below average for that 2-week period. It's really cold, not just snowy, but cold across the mountains. If you look at the past 60 days, you can see that same signature where the mountains really stand out, but everywhere has been below average since the start of the new year. But the mountains really stand out. And no coincidence that the snowpack is so deep, it's not melting, and it's also abundant. Here's a map of the snow across Southern California. The shaded area, take a look at the scale. This is the period late February through March 1st. We had locations such as Lake Arrowhead, 5,200 feet with 110 inches of snow. Remarkable. Even the San Diego mountains had major snowfall of several feet. If you look at the water equivalent, so what kind of water came down that's sitting in that snowpack? Well, 6 to 12 inches of water. So the areas that got 10 feet of snow, you're talking about 10, 11 inches of water sitting in that snow. Okay, the key points, the weather pattern change. Instead of coming from the polar regions from the north, coming from the west, a lot like what we saw in January across the entire Pacific. First atmospheric river is Friday, Saturday, high snow levels, rain on snow. Additional Pacific energy early next week, 14 through 16. The weather pattern remains active potentially through the 20th. Okay? So we could see too much rain also on the snow and melt, causing some areas of flooding, especially the San Bernardino Mountains. Also could result in some mud and rock slides as that snow melts and the ground loosens up and starts sliding down. This is the weather pattern change I'm talking about. It's coming directly out of the poles, directly from the North Pole. That's why it's been so cold. That's why so much snow in Southern California. That is starting to shift. We see a system come through on Wednesday morning, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. But then right after that, a new jet stream starts to form in the Pacific, undercutting the blocking pattern that's in place. That really gets going on Thursday, Friday, sending the first atmospheric river into California. There's the new jet stream that becomes consolidated starting on Friday and Saturday from west to east. The cold air doesn't really go anywhere. It still hangs up to the north, and that's all a jet stream is the difference between cold and warm. But now we got Pacific moisture and energy combining. If you look further out into next week, we see a dip in that jet stream, even though it's one consolidated big jet stream from west to east. That'll swing through between the 14th and 15th of next week, impacting largely Central California, but also Southern California. The first atmospheric river is shown here. Yes, it comes in late this week, takes a direct hit into Central California, and then sags into Southern California on the 10th and 11th. The jet stream that I'm talking about, the purple shaded area, it's gathering strength in the Western Pacific. It's going to go from west to east, a lot like January, undercut the current weather pattern, and then just take over, pointed in Central California like shown on Saturday at the right-hand side. We got to watch that purple shaded area because that stronger energy breaks off early next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, the 14th and 15th, and a piece of that comes in on the 16th into California. And there's still energy further west, even at that time next week on the 15th and 16th. So overall, this is the area we're looking at for the next 2 weeks. The focus is central northern California. That's where confidence is the highest. There'll be unusual or above average precipitation. And you can see that this moisture and this rain extends all the way down to Hawaii as shown in the bottom screen. So there's week 1 all the way through the first storm on the 12th when that exits. And then there's week 2, the start of the second and potentially third storm all the way to the 19th. Okay, this is what's expected with the first storm. So Friday, Saturday, most areas light rainfall, but still widespread rain. So we'll have some traffic issues. But more concerning is the yellow shaded area where some moderate rainfall and significant amounts could occur rain on snow in the San Bernardino Mountains. Of course, San Diego Mountains, Riverside Mountains, that also will be rain on snow. So we'll see some considerable melting snow. Temperatures will be mild. That's why we're going to see rain on snow. 50 at Palomar, 50 Mount Laguna, 50 Big Bear Lake. You get the picture here. Friday and Saturday are going to be mild in the mountains, and that's why the precipitation is going to fall as rain. There's going to be some wind as well. Of course, this is an atmospheric river, so it means it has wind and moisture being transported in that jet stream. And wind's most problem in the mountain areas, the ridges, and the desert slopes, the normal windy areas. The outlook remains unsettled. In fact, it continues to be focused, as discussed earlier, in Central California. That includes next week, and that includes even further out between the 14th of March and the 20th. So that could be a very active wet period for most of California. Follow the weather at weather.gov. That's where we'll post the latest advisory, watches, and warnings. We'll also push things on social media, but your primary source is weather.gov. Stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching.